You gotta learn to control your face. You look way too excited whenever we play that intro.
It's funny that that intro doesn't get dinged with the Biden thing or whatever it does. So like that's just so funny that one you'd think that one would be the first one to get dinged. I guess they're
I'm
cool.
surprised none of this, because we've got a couple South Park ones, and I'm surprised neither of them have gotten dinged. But if you play like a Beavis and Butthead clip, that'll get knocked real quick. I mean, it doesn't get you like a suspension. It gets the episode gets taken down until you edit out the clip. But
well, Beavis and Butthead are a little bit more like risque at times, I guess, than South Park. South Park edges the line. Like they like to toe the exact line. They don't really go over it.
I don't think it's the edginess. I think it's just copyright bullshit. Like some shows, for whatever reason, they're just really on patrol for. Like Saturday Night Live shit. Ooh, that's hard to come by on YouTube unless it's like from NBC. Then you can find their clips and shit. But otherwise, they pull those fuckers down real quick too. It's gay. Actually, I was listening to the radio this morning, the local, morning show here, and I've told you guys about the one guy. He used the urinal next to me and didn't wash his hands. Well, that guy was, I guess he's doing some of the DJs or whatever, and he's like, I don't know, hosting something or whatever, where it's like a bunch, like hundreds of people are going to go to like a movie theater and watch Wrath of Khan, and then after the movie, like Shatner's going to be there, and he's going to like, moderate a talk between the group of people and Shatner, typical sci-fi con nerd kind of stuff. But he was saying that because of the SAG, the actor strike or writer strike or whatever the fuck it is, he's not allowed to articulate the words Star Trek. He's not allowed to say Captain Kirk. He's not allowed to mention any of the movies by name.
Yeah,
like he's not.
They're really.
So he's got to I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, well, they do that with like like Disney properties like really heavily too and stuff like that, and Nintendo's really bad about that. Like if you make your own Mario shirt, and if you say like you make a Peach bikini shirt or something like that, you wanted to be kind of cute and like freaking make a Peach in a bikini, and then all of a sudden they'll get it taken down. Like they'll go to like whatever, like if you have it on Teespring or whatever, Nintendo will go and take it down because they don't want that to be associated like with the IP or whatever. And to some degree I get that, because like okay, but then again it's like as long as it's not like being forced like onto children or whatever. Like
I mean, they don't own the fucking shirt. I can put whatever the fuck I want on my fucking shirt. Disney. There was a case I think in Florida years ago where some daycare center had like a mural on the side, and some of the characters in the mural were Disney characters. They ended up getting sued and had to like paint over it or some shit.
Well, the worst case of that was there was this kid like passed away, like he died of cancer or something like that. The dad wanted his tombstone to be like a Spider-Man one because he really liked Spider-Man, and Disney literally sent a cease and desist to make sure that they couldn't get the tombstone as Spider-Man. That is the worst freaking case of it. They told this guy who was like grieving his dead child that you cannot make a Spider-Man tombstone.
Well, if you let one guy do it, then suddenly there's going to be Goofy tombstones and Mickey tombstones, and then where's it going to end? You can't. Yeah, you can't make this one exception. I mean, then before you know it, every theme park will be nothing but. Okay, well, here's one. So tattoo IP is always like strange to me, but I know a dude who's got Mickey Mouse tattoos. I wonder if they can do the tattoo artist. Well, it's weird because like in like movies and shit, like I guess legally, like the tattoo artist owns the art on the person, which I think is bullshit. I think the canvas owns the art. Right? Like it's on your fucking skin and you paid for it. You commissioned the drawing. You own that shit. But it was like in The Hangover, it was like the artist sued for who did Mike Tyson's face tattoo. I think got millions of dollars because it's shown in the movie. That's so
Well,
crazy to me. I mean, I think IP's stupid all around, but that's so crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, like their logic is that if I drew it, like if I did the drawing and then after I did the drawing, I put it on your body. But I don't know a lot of them that do their own purely their own drawings. So, I mean, they're you had it takes a real like talent for someone to like actually draw it out and then map it out onto a person. That's
Yeah, otherwise they're just tracers.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, if they're just tracing it, then that's different. But like, yeah, I mean, I like if they, what I think their logic is like if I drew it out and I actually, hand drew this and then I put it on somebody's body, then that's kind of my design, and I guess
yeah,
but I don't
I get
I
that
don't
side.
like
I just feel like you transfer ownership when you put it on somebody else's fucking skin.
I guess like in the case of Tyson, that's a commission piece. So I'm sure he didn't do that face tattoo for anybody else. Like that was exclusively for Mike Tyson. So I guess I can kind of understand, but at the same time, yeah, like if Mike Tyson didn't have a problem with it, then what's the tattoo artist beef? Like I don't feel like he has a legitimate gripe there if Mike Tyson didn't have any problem with it. And considering Tyson was in the movie, I can't imagine that he did.
I wonder because you have to.
I mean, Mike Tyson is the one getting paid for that appearance. So.
Well, like you sign some sort of disclaimer or something, or like form typically when you go get a tattoo, liability, whatever. But I've never actually read it. I wonder if there's anything in it about like ownership of the art or anything. I'd be curious actually if that's like a standard thing in there. Maybe I've signed away my rights to my tattoos every time I've went and gotten a legitimate one.
I mean, if you commission it, there probably is a clause in there that says like I control ownership of the design. Now
they can't come repossess it, right?
Yeah. Like I can't come take the tattoo back from you, I guess.
Hey, good fucking luck. That'd be like in the case of Disney going after the dad for trying to have a Spider-Man tombstone made for his dead son. Sometimes violence is the answer. It just depends on what the question is.
Who's gonna physically come take the tombstone? That's what I want to know.
They sent it to the company that was making the tombstone. Like I don't even know how they found out. Like I don't even know.
Probably some shit on the news. That's why you keep your shit to yourself.
Yeah. True.
But yeah. Because the memorial company or whatever who does the engraving or what have you. Yeah, I guess they could head it off at the pass with them.
Be standing out there with a spear, standing guard over my son's tombstone. Like, come on, motherfucker, you want to try something? Hit you with the web shooters, the 45 caliber web shooters.
Yeah, I hope it'd have to be the lawyer who made it all happen. It'd have to be the one to come physically remove the tombstone.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine a society was like that, like the a-holes who decide to just freaking they decide to do these lawsuits. They have to go physically take back whatever it is that they're trying to destroy for somebody else. So that would be something else. Like,
but the people who do that kind of thing are some fucking fags.
Yeah.
How is it that you think referring to gay people as fags in today's world is acceptable?
Because we're not referring to gay people. You can be gay and not be a fag. Yeah, a lot of fags aren't gay.
I happen to be gay, boys. You think I'm a fag?
Do you ride a big, loud Harley and go up and down the streets ruining everyone's nice time? Not fag.
So what if a guy is gay and rides a Harley?
Oh, that's awesome.
Then he's a gay fag. I mean, is this really this hard? I don't know. All right, look, you're driving in your car, okay? And you're waiting to make a left at a traffic signal. The light turns yellow, should be your turn to go, but the traffic coming at you just keeps coming. And even when the light turns red, a guy in a BMW runs the red light so you can't make your left turn. What goes through your mind?
Fag.
Right. You're not thinking, oh, he's a homosexual. You're thinking, oh, he's an inconsiderate douchebag like a Harley rider.
This is making insanely good sense to me.
Trying to get people to understand the difference between saying that someone is gay and saying something is gay, and calling someone a fag and being a fag, or like, it shouldn't be this hard, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's somebody who really wants to ride a motorcycle, but they're not quite sure of it yet. And they're like, well, they're bike curious. Jeez.
My wife said the same thing about the way we throw retard around. She said, the people that you call retards, by calling them retards, it's actually more disparaging to people who are actually retarded, because the people that you're calling retards are way worse than actual retards. I'm like, oh, you kind of got a good point. I'm like, we're not calling them retards because they're mentally handicapped. We're calling them retards because they're fucking retarded. And then I'm like, but they're way worse than the people who are actually retarded. So that really is a more demeaning. It's like demeaning in multiple levels to people who are actually mentally handicapped. Saying, well, maybe we need to find a new word maybe we need to find a better word for people who are retarded. Call them something.
Sillies. Sillies. That's what we call them.
Like, retard should be reserved for people who are, wastes of oxygen, not for people who actually have a mental handicap. We got to find a better word.
It would open us up to use the word retard and retarded and like the actual like usage. Not talking about people, but like if I were to say that, like my chickens arrived, late because the post office sucks ass, so their growth is now retarded, right? That's like, it just means inhibited, right? But you can't use that word in the real sense because people get weird about that too,
Right. If you say that your chickens are retarded, then people think that you're saying that your chickens are dumb or something, which all chickens are dumb, but that's...
No, it just means their growth speed is retarded. God, it is hard to sound serious saying that word, though.
The English language is fun.
Yeah.
Like the multiple uses of the word fuck. I know why.
There's like it's every it's every what do you call it, every it's a noun, adjective, verb, it's every
Stephanie will be like, you say fuck way too much on your shows. And I'm like, yeah, but it's such a versatile word, like you could throw it in anywhere and it fits.
Yep, all forms of word. Adjective, verb, noun,
adverb.
Oh man, Mad Libs could be really fun or really boring if you're just using variants of fuck.
Well, and it's the inflection too, because like when you read it, if you read it wrong, it's like, what? And then it's like, oh, you gotta reread it and give it the right inflection to make it.
See, this is why, like, the even though there's the boomerism of like capitalizing everything, there is some nuance to, like, okay, if you capitalize the word fuck versus like the actual, like, there's using that capitalization definitely helps when you're writing it versus.
Speaking of words and changing words for different people and things, dozens of bird names have been changed to purge former enslavers and racists. So what all birds are getting renamed? Oh, are they renaming one the George Floyd? No, that's just talking about his death. I was gonna say, if they change the name of something from like a good Confederate general's name to the George Floyd, I'm gonna start, like, violence is the answer to this question, obviously.
The Floyd pigeon. No, he'd have to be a crow, right?
Oh no. See, that would be. Would that be racist? I'm trying to figure out, like, because they do want, like,
think back to your Disney movies.
Black roles.
Well, because that's what they did. Dumbo, the crows were supposedly very racist. I like the crows.
Well, like, they're black. They can be racist, though, right? So
they're also like one of the smartest fucking animals on the planet. So it's not necessarily a negative thing.
They do regularly steal knives and stuff. So I mean,
They do random acts of violence from time to time, but I mean, I'm sure it's justified in their eyes.
They don't call them murder for nothing.
Well, in that case, maybe they do need to be the George Floyd.
So what actual bird names are getting changed here?
Let's see. Apparently, focus on 80 different bird species, but I don't know what the. They don't tell exactly.
I'm trying to find like a good list of the actual species that are getting their names changed, and I'm coming up blank. I keep clicking on links to take me to a different article, thinking this is going to be the one that actually gives the list, and then it just is another article explaining what they're doing. Like I got that on the last three. Give me the fucking list. And see, I hate this shit about the way some of these articles and stuff are written. Like they don't give you any information. They just give you a headline and then some bullshit.
Well, it must mean there's no good ones in there actually getting changed that they'll even bother to list them.
Well,
let's see.
It could be.
There was
that they're like they have some identified some that they may want to change, and then that's just what the article is about. That's what some
done it yet.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wilson's warbler will be changed to yellow warbler or golden winged warbler.
Hammond's flycatcher will
Brewer's sparrow will be called.
So they're just getting rid of people's names out of them. Is that what they're doing?
That's what
Whoever
it says.
Discovered the thing.
I mean, but if you're going to do that, do it across the board. Like if you're going to take names off of it, take everybody's names off of them. Just call them whatever they are instead of like why does it have to be exclusively racists and enslavers? Like just change all of their names to something stupid and generic. We're already stripping all of the beauty out of everything in the world anyway. May as well just take it to the names of animals too and just call them all something dumb and generic so that we finally give up on the English language entirely and move back to Latin.
Names like Wilson are so like generic anyhow though. You know what I mean? Like I just assume it's the douchebag who discovered the fucking bird. You know, oh, Harry Wilson over there, you know, because especially like birds can be so regional, dude. Like out by me, there's birds who like their species only exist in like 1 or 2 square miles. You know, like there's a lot of that shit. I'm sure that's everywhere, not just here. I just know
it's like
here.
the state bird for Alabama, like the yellowhammer. Like I don't know of anywhere really else where the yellowhammer like it exists.
I'm trying to make some sort of Asian and dick reference. But then it's hammers and it'd be small. I don't know. I'll come up with something and get back to you guys on Monday.
Say how big is the Alabama state bird? Like about like that, about 3 inches. Standing all the way.
I can't tell. All the videos of it is blurred. Good night, guys.
He did it. He went out on it with a bang.
It's pretty small bird, so it is a little bit of a hammer though. He thick boy. So
well, while they're changing bird names, they're also changing street names. Where did that go? Road names at West Point now reflect heroes. So fuck this dude for one thing. After we get done with this article, I'll be blocking this motherfucker. Road names at West Point now reflect heroes like Ulysses S. Grant, who fought for this great country. Gone are those who chose treason for slavery. So they changed Lee Road to Grant Road, like and they're doing that kind of shit all over the place. And this completely ignores everything that Robert E. Lee did for the country and for like the promotion of peace and stability after the war. Like I would argue that
he's the only reason that
did more to promote peace and to promote reconciliation after the war than any of those Yankee fuckers. Like,
yeah, I mean, Grant wanted to like flatten I mean, he wanted to do like what Israel wants to do to Gaza to the south now. Like that was Grant. Like Grant wanted to flatten the South, and
the true lesson of the Civil War is don't fucking lose.
Yes, Yeah.
Don't play nice. Don't fucking lose. Don't.
Is that
like,
quote real? There was a quote that I saw that from from Robert E. Lee about during Reconstruction, like it basically saying like if I had known this this is how it would go, then I mean the gist of it is he's like if this is how it would have been, I would have like rather have died with arms in hand while fighting alongside my Virginian brothers or something
probably
like
so. But Robert E. Lee was a Virginia nationalist. Like the only reason he got involved in the war to begin with, which we talked about this the other day, the only reason he got involved in the war to begin with was because Virginia was going to be attacked and he was going to protect his home state. And like, I would argue that for as great a tactical genius as he was, I don't think he was fully invested in the war. And I think some of the things he did, pushing in advance into the North and stuff, like as the South, all you had to do was like sit tight and play defense. Like Russia is currently in a position with the territory that they've grabbed in Ukraine where they got what they want. Like they weren't, regardless of what the fucking morons say, Russia was never trying to take over all of Ukraine. They wanted to take certain parts of it back. They established a foothold in that area, and now all they have to do is sit there. Like they don't have to press their line. The South had that same advantage. Like all they had to do was maintain a stronghold and hold the line. Like there was no reason to push into the North, but there were advances into the North for some fucking reason, being led by Lee, and I think it's because he wasn't fully invested in winning the war.
I don't think it was necessarily Lee's like decision in that case. I don't think Lee necessarily wanted to push into the North. I think it was probably more a Jackson thing.
But nonetheless, like there was no reason to do it. Like you just hold the line and stand pat. Maybe I don't know. Maybe go assassinate fucking
Sherman.
Take care of that problem.
How about Russia though? Don't you think it was a mistake for them not to go right into Kiev?
No, it's actually more strategic for them not to go into Kiev.
But that was never their intent.
Yeah,
I know.
If they go into Kiev too, it galvanizes like the whole myth that they do want to take over all of Ukraine.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you go in all the way, you take over Kiev, and then you divide it back up.
But that's impossible to hold.
That's a loss of life.
You can't maintain that. Like that would be that would be
mission.
on par with the Confederacy pushing into the North. There's no victory to be taken in that. You can't hold it. It's going to cost a ton of life and equipment and everything else. Like it's a no-win situation. Okay, yeah, you take Kiev, and then what? Now you've got the entirety of NATO and everybody else just like breathing down your neck, coming to run you out. Like it's a net sum loss. Like take the area that you want and just hold it. And that's what they do, or that's what they have done.
Yeah.
And there was an article that came out, I think it was on Wednesday, and I actually read it for an episode that'll come out of my show next week. But it kind of details some of what's going on in Ukraine and the losses that Ukraine is taking and everything. And like Russia's doing just that. They're holding the line, and Ukraine is hesitant to push into that territory and try to take any back because they keep suffering such casualties and losses. So like there's no benefit. And Russia can like carpet bomb power plants and stuff and drive the Ukrainian citizenry into freezing to death this winter. And the longer this kind of thing goes on, the less appetite for trying to continue the war the populace will have. And as it becomes less popular and they start to push for like, we just need to make peace and get the fuck out of this, then that just plays into like, you don't need to take Kiev to deal a demoralizing blow to Ukraine. You can just bomb power plants and let everybody freeze and be like, sorry.
How is that true? I was told Russia was out of bullets and they were losing the war and they didn't have enough people. And Like, how is any of that true? You just said.
Whatever they say. What's the whatever they
Whatever
say
they
about
say,
the one is what they actually mean for themselves. That's,
Yeah.
How's it going, gentlemen? Sorry, I'm a
I
little
see
late.
Mark can be in the comments, but he can't actually be on the show.
Well, you know, they only let him, you know, occasionally get on YouTube or whatever for his
Work release program. He can't live stream.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's the prison wallet phone that he smuggled in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be easier to have the phone now. He's been in there for a few months.
What else we got going on in the world? Oh, speaking of historical figures, Philadelphia is putting up a new statue because that's what Philadelphia needs. Philadelphia picks a winning design for a Harriet Tubman statue after controversy over the original choice. What was the original choice is what I'm... See, it's another one of these fucking articles that tells you something but doesn't give you any more information about
What
it.
did she do again? I can't remember.
Harriet Tubman was the... You're a Yankee. You're supposed to know that. That's, that's like a Yankee hero. The Underground Railroad and all of that.
Oh, okay.
Smuggling people away from the south to the north, you know, that whole narrative or whatever.
That's right. Pulling them out of slavery where they had a roof over their head and a steady job to throw them into
the war the war for the Union, like to make them go fight in the war for the Union.
You've been freed. Now get to work. It's time for you to go die for your freedom.
Yep.
That's the perfect way to give them freedom. Like, you know, give them a chance to die for it. You know,
that statue looks like she's taking a dump.
Is that what the controversy was over the statue, or?
Oh, pull it back up, man. It totally looks like she's like.
Oh, I bet you. I bet you it's because she's got a gun. That's probably why
they don't like it. Yeah,
they don't like it because it shows her with a gun. They want her to.
I mean, was she a gun-toting person, or?
I mean, she was what now?
I don't ever remember any of the stories of her like being carrying a gun or shooting people.
I mean that was commonplace during the time. I mean,
arguably, she was smuggling people out of the South who were being tracked by bounty hunters and the like. So it was probably smart to have a gun. Just based on the general profession. Like, if you're going to be a gangbanger in South Side Chicago, it's probably smart to have a gun. If you're like snatching slaves away from slave owners and smuggling them to the North, probably smart to have a gun. And go prepared for the job that you're going to be doing. I'm sure that had to be what it is, right?
Sure.
I don't know.
I've never, never really thought of her with a gun, really, I guess.
Holy shit, this is going to be a 14-foot statue.
Think they'll be pissed when they melt it down because they found out, she did something they didn't like?
They blackwash that kind of history. They don't ever talk about any of that sort of stuff. Oh, this is the problem. It was a white sculptor who had created it.
Yeah, that's right. I forget. Yes, the white guy made I remember reading this article. Yeah, the white guy made the Harriet Tubman statue, and that's why they didn't want it to exist anymore. They wanted to commission. They want to redo it with a black commissioned artist to do it.
For crying out loud! Oh, idiocracy.
Yeah, you gotta have, like we were talking about earlier, you gotta have the the black artist to represent the black person, to do the all that kind of stuff. It's got to be the whole chain. It's a new way of segregation, I guess. That's their new way of segregation.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, speaking of segregation and racism and whatever, that's we're back to pushing divisionist ideas.
Our nation was founded on the fundamental principle that all people should have the freedom to live, to worship, and to be without fear of violence or persecution. Every person has the right to live safe from violence, hate, and bigotry. And for those reasons and so many more, President Joe Biden and I have a duty not only to keep the people of our nation safe, but to condemn unequivocally and forcefully all forms of hate. Since we took office, President Biden and I fought to uphold that duty. Over the past decade, America has seen a rise in attacks on houses of worship. So in response, we expanded funding to protect houses of worship from violence.
Wait, hold on. You don't see they didn't actually do
During the
anything.
pandemic, in
Funding.
particular,
Say what?
They didn't do a damn thing. They just gave more money. They just threw money at the problem.
Well, they didn't even throw money directly at the problem. They approve more funding that goes to government agencies that are then supposed to do things with it, but that's never actually how it works. Like they're not increasing police forces. They're not like giving these houses of worship money for security or anything like that. Like it's all a pretty way of saying, hey, look, we care, while not actually doing anything to show that they care.
I mean, you want to show, okay, so if there actually was a problem with a house of worship, because they can't say actually church,
yeah,
then send cops over to that church and let them sit out front. Like, that's what you do. You don't just, we're gonna give $50 over to the Chicago Police Department. Like, it's just bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's all bullshit. Or I don't know. Actually, maybe prosecute the people who are doing this sort of stuff. That might help too.
Asian hate.
No, but like
Biden
some of it's they're like they're conflating sometimes, like people just saying stuff to like, that's the problem with it though, is like sometimes they're conflating like people saying stuff with the actual like, or they actually beating these people out in front of the synagogues or whatever. Like, okay, yeah, if they're doing that, yeah, prosecute them, whatever, I don't care. But like, sometimes
that has to happen, because if they were, if that actually did happen, it would be on the news 24/7.
Yeah, exactly.
And the people that did it, their names would be on the news, and they would never work again. Like, so none of this stuff has actually ever happened. Again, it goes back to Justin's show with the college kids and the supposed racism stuff. It actually never happens. It's just all conflated bullshit.
Yeah, just false flags all around.
Well, I mean, that's like a lot of this stuff. They talk. She just finished talking about Asian hate being on the rise, but they were like, but while
was that when the rooftop Koreans were going on?
While speaking out against Asian hate, they also want to stop labeling Asians as a minority, stop giving them
label them as white.
Yeah, label them as white, not giving them like any
college admissions.
Right, the college admission stuff, like, and anymore, even Hispanics are starting, because see, here's the problem.
Because Hispanics are actually doing better now too, and then they get
right. They get here, they start making some money. They realize that all these taxes and stuff are bullshit, and that the government doesn't actually fucking care about them. And so they start voting for people who are going to actually represent them, getting to keep their money instead of having to give it all to the government. And once they stop voting for Democrats, now you're no longer considered a minority. You're just a racist white piece of shit who hates all the actual minorities who are doing poorly. Amazing how the ones who are most reliant on the government for all of their success are also the ones who are doing the worst. That's just crazy, right?
Yeah, it's funny.
Have you seen the stats on that? Like the income stats and stuff? Like Pakistanis and Asians are like way, way up on the list because they come here with the intent to work and do something with their lives, and Hispanics are also fairly quickly rising up that list, but blacks are still at the very fucking bottom. Like, you would think after, I don't know, what civil rights movement was in the 60s, so you'd think after 60 years of government policy to try to help the black community, they would somehow be more successful, and yet they're not. In fact, they're going in the opposite direction. Like,
yeah, but they successfully destroyed the black family and put the welfare and destroyed the family, and they don't worry about them anymore. They know that they have them.
Well, and that's the thing. Like all of the Pakistanis, the Hispanics, Asians, the Muslims who immigrate legally, not like the asylum seeker types, but the ones who are like coming here to work and stuff, like the ones that are taking over Michigan. Like they are strong family value, strong faith, all the things that entrepreneurship, all the things that the left hates. It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. And as soon as they as soon as the left realizes that they are all the things that the left hates, then now the left has to label them as white supremacists. Just multicultural white supremacy.
Yeah, the ethnic white supremacy. Yeah, whatever, ethnic white supremacy.
Sorry, I'm not used to doing this on my phone. I hit the wrong button.
You turn the phone sideways, Steve. So there you go.
Oh wait, it didn't do the auto camera thing.
You're such a boomer.
Damn.
Change his name from Desert Fox to Boomer Steve.
It's 6 a.m. and I'm in the desert, man. Sorry.
It's okay.
You're probably losing your mind from that desert heat there.
Yeah, I got it.
It's chilly this morning, man. It's 50 degrees.
What else we got going on? Oh, speaking of things that I lost it. It was a long night. Anyway, BP is buzzing to announce an investment of $100 million into Tesla's ultra-fast EV chargers. I
literally got this ad after we talked about the EV stuff. I was like, this is so gay. Like, why am I getting this EV ad? I literally said I will not buy an EV. Why the hell are you serving me ads for EVs?
I wonder what BP is going to be powering. I wonder what BP is going to be powering these things with.
The problem,
obviously fuel. Like,
we're not going to
have something. Oh my god! But like, what is this? Like, what does it matter if you install all these chargers? What does it really matter at the end of the day? Like, how does that, like, so supposedly that reduces the whole, worry about having to, have enough range for your battery. But let's just say we have one on every freaking, every gas station. Every single gas station has one. What difference is it from freaking having gas at the gas station? Like, there's no. I mean, you're still having to, manage your range.
What do you think the gas station is going to be powering that thing off of?
Well, my brother-in-law had a Tesla, and he sold it to somebody out by us, and I ended up driving it back from Detroit out to where we live. 3-hour drive. It didn't make it. Like, it said it had a 3.5-hour charge. It made about 2:20. We had to stop and charge it. That took a half hour.
Yeah, but you could find, like, you were able to find a place to charge it though, right?
Yeah, but I was almost out. Like, I had
yeah.
There's not much between Detroit and where we live out by Grand Rapids. There's not much.
But what I'm saying is like eventually like you have to have the like you have to know that there's like if I didn't have any gas stations around, would I be able to have a gas powered vehicle anyway? Like if there was no gas stations within the range of my vehicle that I would be able to get from here to there. But I mean, but we know that gas has a longer range, generally speaking, than it's just stupid. The whole discussion is just dumb. Like, and then they're like Justin said, they're gonna have to power it with some sort of other fuel source. They have to power the actual charging. So it's moot point. I don't know.
What do you want to bet, guys? What do you want to bet? When we're all dead, they'll be powering it by burning the gas out in the back of the gas station to get it for the electricity.
I mean, I guess we talked about it. What was it, Monday? The like they were someplace was touting how they had like the biggest electric vehicle charging station ever built, and the thing has its own fucking coal power plant to run it. Like,
yeah,
you really solved the problem there, fellas. Like, yay, we've got an electric vehicle charging station so that we can stop using all this gas. But we literally had to build a fucking coal power plant to run the damn thing. So I mean, yay.
I mean, if they were to do it right, they should have just done solar, right?
Well,
you can only charge during the day.
Speaking of vehicles, at least if
that's the joke is with the solar, they can't, like, the reason that so you've seen energy costs have been going up across the country. I think I talked about this at one point earlier in the year.
Gas is $5 a gallon out here.
No.
Not power bills.
Your electric bill. So what a lot of these big electric companies have been doing is they've been going out and they've been putting in these big solar farms and these wind farms and shutting down perfectly functional natural gas and coal powered plants. The problem that they're running into is they can build all the fucking solar panels they want. It cannot generate the power that is needed to maintain the grid. I've seen it in, what was it? One of the European countries did the same thing. Shut down all of these like natural gas plants and went to I think it was to wind turbines, and then had to turn around and start bringing the shut down plants back up because nobody could get power. Like they completely locked their fucking grid down. Like it's insane. It was nuclear plants.
Yeah, they shut down nuclear plants
that was Germany that did. Yeah, that was Germany that did the shut down the nuclear plants. Yeah, it's just insane. So that's what's happening is the reason. So I did the thing on copper. Like the copper mining, they have to have coal powered plants somewhere near a copper mine because solar and wind cannot generate enough. The solar and wind cannot generate enough energy for the smelters to build up the heat that's needed to melt the copper down.
Copper has a pretty high melting point.
So you have to get it to the purity that it needs to be in order to make these solar panels and these wind turbines and stuff. It has to be smelted. Like the smelters have to run super hot in order to get it to melt down and have a pure enough product. The only energy source that can get the temperature high enough for that is coal power. So it's a completely moot point. Like you're not going to get away from coal by pushing more solar and wind because solar and wind are completely reliant on that copper. Like without the copper wiring that goes into those things, they don't fucking work. So it's insane. Like it's completely nonsensical. But people don't want to look at that. And when you try to explain that to them, they're like, "Oh, that can't be right." It's like, no, it is. Like I've done the fucking research. I've got article after article that I can show you. Like it's
like not even just that. Like do we have I like even with the inflation, I can still probably get a gas powered vehicle for under $30,000. Dude, are there any EVs that are even close to that? Like they're all over 30 grand. I'm pretty sure. Like I don't know of any EV that would be cheaper, like to purchase, and then even then I would have to buy a new battery at some point that's equal value to the vehicles. Like nobody looks at that. Nobody looks at that kind of stuff. Like
I think Hyundai has one that's about like right at 30, 35.
Well, I mean that goes back to the other thing that we talked about earlier in the week with the insurance companies that are jacking their rates on people who have electric vehicles because they are so expensive, because the parts are so expensive, because they do have to have so much maintenance. Like there's so much that goes into them. And so on top of having to pay double what you would for a regular vehicle, also your insurance is going to be 4 times higher than it would be. So like it's.
See, this is why Don the Pleb has been on his poor stick lately. I don't know if you guys. This is why people stay poor. They buy these electric vehicles. They buy stuff like this, and then they wonder why am I poor? Like I just spent like twice as much on a vehicle. I spent like twice as much on insurance, and then why am I poor?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's almost as bad as the people that are poor and driving like $70,000 pickup trucks.
Oh yeah,
it's almost the same thing.
Same thing, but there's at least they're not driving this vehicle, because apparently you'll get cited if you drive this vehicle. This guy had this truck. He made it look like the border patrol. It's booty patrol.
Hang on, we're gonna switch over to mine. I've got a video.
I mean, what I don't understand, like, so what? The guy painted it. Who cares? Like, is he pulling people over?
The rainbow LEDs.
That is like the most badass truck ever. Check this thing out. Hell yeah!
See, forget a lift kit, forget all that garbage like that these these rednecks try to soup up their truck with. This is peak. This is the peak. If you want to get your truck tricked out, this is the way to do it.
Of course, the police cited him for having something that appeared to be if they have an unmarked car and appear to be a normal person, that's completely fine. But if you drive around looking like one of them, that's a big no-no. You're gonna get a fine.
Speaking of unmarked, like there's literally one that I know it's an unmarked cop car that I just know because I see the guy. He goes down the road. There's a main road that cut through road here where a lot of people do speed on, and I know that's exactly what he's there doing. He's an unmarked cop car because it's just a black Tahoe it's got the front bumper guard, and I'm like that. I know that's an unmarked cop car, but
what you do is you go out at night and drive around and see if you can catch him like park somewhere trying to watch for people driving by.
You park up beside him and say, "Hey, how you doing?"
Get several like really big ass jugs of water, park somewhere down the road and like sneak up down the tree line and just dump big jugs of water underneath his rear tires, and then go flying by doing 80 and watch him bury himself trying to speed out of there to come catch you. That's where it's at. That's some good old fashioned like Friday night out in the sticks. Like, oh, we found a cop. We found a cop sitting waiting for people. Let's go. Let's fuck with him. Which, granted, like where I grew up, we were all friends, so like they knew us. Oh man, one night my brother was out riding around, and he knew that 2 of the troopers that like we knew were on patrol that night, and where general area of where they were going to be like sitting, and had a buddy that was drunk as shit. And just goes blowing by him, and they recognize my brother's car immediately, so they come after him, and they come running up all pissed off, like acting like they're all pissed off, and then they go over to the passenger side window and they're like, "What have you been doing tonight, son?" Really kidding on him. And he about shit his pants. Is fucking hilarious. That growing up in a small town, and it's you can do that sort of stuff, and I probably don't recommend it for anybody in a city. That
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
jail.
yeah. Probably. Well, no, well, probably not jail. You probably go. You'll probably get put down pretty quick. I mean, they got itchy trigger fingers over there.
Take you out.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I guess I had a considerably different experience with cops growing up where I did. Like, my buddies would get in the truck and they'd be like, all right, go up there to that shop and pull around to the back side of it. And I would. And then a cop car would pull up next to us and they would get out and grab stuff out of the back of the truck. And the cop car would open his trunk and things would get thrown in and then we would leave. So I had significantly different experiences with cops than a lot of people have.
You know, you got to hide the bodies.
I've told people, like, I never was a drug dealer. I didn't do anything explicitly illegal that I'm aware of, but I did drive to places that I'm not sure I should have been. And people got out of the truck and bags got thrown around. And then I was told, okay, we can leave now. I don't ask questions. I'm just driving. I'm not. And it's not like I got to answer any questions because it's the fucking cops that are right there anyway. Like, what are they gonna do?
You know, as long as you know, as long as everything's good, you know, hunky dory.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've had an interesting life. You know what? I don't regret it. I don't regret any of it. Makes for good stories.
No
my
regret.
worst experience with the cops is I got pulled out of the car by my hair when on my 18th birthday.
Is that why you don't have hair anymore? Just yanked it?
They yanked it all off.
I asked him,
They
I was
shaved his head.
like, what did I do wrong, officer? And he just went off. I was in cuffs before I knew it.
What did you do wrong?
Yeah, I had one yell at me.
Did nothing.
I did nothing wrong. My worst encounter with a cop was like usually most of the cops are pretty chill around here. Like they're just, you know, like, oh, got you speeding, you know, give me a license, blah blah. They're usually pretty chill. Like, but this guy, I don't know. He just had a bad day because all I did was back out of my driveway and I double check. You know, there's nobody there. Back out of my driveway. All of a sudden, you know, cop is right on my tail. And then he pulls me over, and you know, I was like, okay, you know, give him my, you know, ID and everything. He's like, son, what you doing? Where you going? And I was like, you know, my brother was with me. We were just gonna go to the movies. So I was like, yeah. So you know, officer, we're going to the movies. You know, we're just gonna go up the road. You know, gonna turn up here, go to the highway, go to the movies. In Boaz, and it was like this. Oh, you know, yeah. So well, what are you? What, you got drugs? Are you on drugs? Is something wrong? You know, like, no, officer. Like, and he just started yelling at me like I was on drugs or something. Like, oh, you been drinking? And I was like no. And he just kept yelling at me. He's like, well, I don't want to see you. You basically don't want to see you again. It's like, okay, like, no problem.
See, that's where I would have gotten myself in trouble because he'd have been like, are you on drugs? I'd be like, no, are you? Because I said that shit when I was in my teens.
I had one pull me over. I was out of town.
I considered it.
He pulled me over.
He was kind of in a, like, this guy was kind of. So I was just like, no, I'm not gonna.
I had one that pulled me over. He's like, you know why I pulled you over? I was like, no. He said, you were doing 63 and a 55, and I pointed at the speed limit sign that was literally right there, and it's like, it says 65. He's like, have you been drinking? I'm like, no. You got any drugs or narcotics in the vehicle? It's like, would you like to check? He said, are you giving me permission to search your vehicle? I said, step back and let me get out, and you can have it. You can have at it, dude. Like, there's nothing in here. He let me off with a warning. I'm surprised. I think I've only gotten 2 warnings in my life. I've had like 14 tickets. That was one of the 2 warnings, and I can't believe he let me off with a warning. He must have been retarded.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. but the people are retarded.